Hey, yo, it's Noku2 here with another comic book haul. Good morning. It is Sunday, and thought I'd get up and have some coffee and post some books. So, first, as always, I want to start by thanking everyone who has taken their time to watch my videos. I appreciate it. There's not a lot of you, but I do appreciate it. So let's get started. So, these books are going to post of a few eBay purchases, mainly out of frustration. I gave up, and um, and then a comic book sale that I went to. So what we have here is finally the last book that I needed for volume one, truly, of Wolverine. It's his first solo series. It's the only book I was missing. I'm not sure why I was missing this issue. But number 23, John Byrne cover, when he did his little run on Wolverine. Great cover. Um, I've been looking for that book for a long time. It's hard to find in high grade near mint because of the cover. And the it's not really black, it's dark green, but great looking cover. Um, what do I want to say? I paid, I think, $12 all in with shipping. Shipping was almost $7, so I don't think that was a bad price for the book. I think it was $5.99, and shipping was like six something, so it's like $12 and something. Um, but glad to finally have that book to finish out my volume one. So I have every issue of volume one and some duplicates, and then I think in one of my previous videos I'd purchased this book before at a dollar sale, but it was ripped, and so I found another one for 40 cents in their mint. So really happy to finally finish volume one. And then, um, trying to be a completist, I finally finished volume two of The Flash, or yeah, The Flash. So I found this book for $1 at a sale, number 75. And I don't know why it took me so long to find the book. I mean, I've been looking for that book for a long time. Long time. There's nothing key to this issue. I mean, this came out in 1993. I mean, I was in medical school, and so I just wasn't buying books at that time. A lot of books, at least. And that book escaped me for the longest time. It's got no key significance. I think a lot of times I might have been looking for it and didn't know which issue I was missing, and I couldn't remember the cover. And finally, I was like, found it, started writing it down, and then when I went hunting and finally found that book for $1. And then I was missing two other books from volume one, and I've looked for them. 190, I think it's 197 or 190. Yeah, 197 is a more expensive book, but I just could never find these two books. And finally, I resorted to eBay just so I can complete that run and stop looking in the Flash section. And that was number 198 and number 199 versus Zoom. So that finally completes my volume two of The Flash. So really happy to have completed that, and all in for both those books. I believe I paid about $22, including shipping. And so, you know, they're from 2003, and these two books, because of the story arc, they're usually missing in back issues, and so finally, I said, screw it. I'm not. It's been years and years, probably 10 years, looking for those two books, and so I was just forget it. So I went ahead and bought that because I wanted them also in near mint. So this is a dollar sale. Alpha Flight 106. How many of you guys remember that when it was something? I've got a number of copies of that. I remember when it first came out, it was kind of a hot issue because that's when North Star reveals he is a homosexual, and that was big in the time. When did this book come out? 1992. So 1992, that was kind of big news. That's when HIV was first being still had a stigmata, and let me think about that. Yeah, there still wasn't a lot of drugs for HIV back then. There was just AZT, DDT, and DDI. I think those are the three drugs. That was it. Now they've come a long way for HIV treatment, but that was big news back then. Doesn't go for a lot now, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe $5-8 book. I think a lot of people have just forgotten the significance of it. I will say that the artwork is terrible in it. That was in the 90s when everybody's trying to, Marvel's trying to reproduce the Jim Lee, Mike Silvestri kind of art style, but it looks terrible. Found this for $1. This is the first appearance of Zoran from 1979. Masters of Kung Fu, The Hands of Shang-Chi. That's probably a $20 book still, I mean, Zoran's like a B level character, and had a lot of heat when the movie first came out, but it's died down a lot. And then I am still steadily working on, I've got probably, I don't know, maybe 15 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 that I'm missing from issue 150 to the end. So 150 to the end. And a lot of those books are not expensive books. So I keep looking for them in dollar bins. So here we have my glasses. Amazing Spider. I don't know why I come and do these videos without my glasses. 416. Did not have it. I was really surprised I didn't have this book for the longest time. I always knew I'm missing this issue, but I always forget which one it is. And then when I see it, I'm like, oh man, I'm missing that issue, but I could never find it in high grade. And so, because of this cover thing on there, Definite Aunt May, number 400, Amazing Spider-Man, Mark Bagley. What are you gonna say? Finally got that in high grade that I could be happy with. I paid $8 for that book. This was $1, and I got that when I was out of town at a LCS. After I went to a dollar store, dollar sale, so I went and got that. That LCS was kind of out of the way. I don't usually go to it because it's really far. It's probably 35 minutes out of my way when I work out of town. But I had some extra time. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and look. And I'm glad I did. I found that book. Amazing Spider-Man 372 for $1. 368 for $1. Then realized I had picked up two of those at different sales, both were $1. I got this. Did not need this, but it was in really high grade, and I'm sure I had that, so I went ahead and got another one, Spider-Man Life Story 1 in 60, the 60s, number 1. Missing 402, so I checked that off the list. This one's just a holder because I bought that. It was in a bag after I got it home. It just wasn't in the grade that I wanted to be in. Part 11 of 14 of Maximum Carnage, number 380. It's probably VF at best, maybe not even VF, probably fine. but it's complete, and it'll hold me for now. I just don't feel like paying a lot of money for those books because there were so many printed, and I gotta think I can find them in a dollar bin somewhere. Now, I got this book. This is Amazing Spider-Man 227, early appearance of Black Cat. I bought that in an auction. I won it in an auction, and what do I want to say? I wouldn't have bought it if it was the only one that I was going to win in the auction. It was in fine to VF at best, and I was thinking that I was going to win it for like anywhere between $8 to $10, and thought that I'd win a few other books in combined shipping. I did not. That was the only book I won, and so for me it wasn't worth it because after postage that book was almost $17, and that's definitely not worth it in that condition. So that was a fail, but it's good enough for me for now. Then I'm working on my X-Men run, the Jim Lee X-Men that he left for Image, but when he started it was a great run, and then they did a good thing when they got Andy Kubert as the drawer, because I really liked Andy Kubert's drawing. This is a placeholder, number 17. It looked like it was in high grade, but then when I got it home and took it out of the bag to rebag it, it had a little bit of water damage on the bottom here, and that's something that just drives me nuts, water damage. So I'll have to replace that. That's $1 book everywhere, if not even less than that. Number 20. And actually, these next books here I got for 40 cents. So 20. And that's why I didn't really care too much for that one, because I only paid 40 cents for that. I went to a sale for the first time. One of the stores that I went to had their 40th anniversary sale. And so every book was 40 cents or a long box or 120. And so when you're doing that, just picking up books. And so I found all these books for 40 cents. So interestingly, so the sale was 40 hours straight, 40 cents a comic, and it was a 40th anniversary. And so I went there. It started at 8 p.m. and went for 40 hours straight. My wife was telling me, there's no one going to be there. You're a nerd. No one's going to be there at 8 o'clock in the evening on a Friday. And I wanted to get there because at midnight they opened up a whole new section of books they hadn't, opened up before. And they were new 52 books. And I was like, yeah, I'll, get first dibs on it. So I was there. And when I first got there, there was only like 7, 8 people there, including the workers. By midnight, there was almost 75 people there, digging through books, waiting for the midnight sale to open. So anyway, my wife couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe there were that many people there. I knew there'd be more than 7 or 8, but I mean, I couldn't believe how many people were actually there. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. The worker was being generous and giving food and drinks away for free, and it was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. But anyway, another tale. So 40 cent X-Men number 21. It's probably VF. There's something about the color of the X that doesn't seem crisp white, but it's good enough for me. Number 22. Number 12. I know some of these aren't in order. X-Men 36. And X-Men 37. All right. So I'm trying to complete that run of X-Men, not the whole run, because there's so many books in that. I mean, that series did go on for a little bit, but I want to complete at least the Onslaught. So I got a few books still left to go. So again, all these books were 40 cents. Lobo Limited Series 2 of 4. 4 of 4. I think I have most of that series. If not, I know I have number 1. Got this Teen Titans drug issue, George Perez, Marv Wolfman for 40 cents. I thought this was kind of a nice pickup. Crisis number 8, Death of Barry Allen. They didn't have number 1, but they didn't have number 7. But they had quite a few issues of the Crisis series, but this was in high grade. The others they weren't in great shape, and so in my opinion, so I didn't think it was worth even 40 cents. Got this Superman Man of Steel, first cameo of Doomsday, really just his arm, but 40 cents. It was in high grade. Same for this Fantastic Four, cover price 40 cents. In high grade. Infinity number 1, 40 cents. I didn't know anything about this, but I figured it's kind of cool. Superman 666. Most Superman books do not have any value in the modern age. There's a few here and there, but most of them don't have any value, as you know. Sorry, let me get an area. The Thing in Black Panther, early bronze and high grade, so I picked that up. Got another copy of Justice League Quarterly, just because it was Adam Hughes cover, and I'm sure I have at least 1 or 2 copies, but it was in high grade for that square bound book. A lot of times it's all dinged up, and for 40 cents, I didn't know if this was really the final issue or not of the volume 1 of Fantastic Four, but it said final issue, and I don't recall having that, so I went ahead and picked it up. Daredevil 600. I didn't know anything about this book here, but I knew it was a ratio, and it's that Rion Gonzalez from 2022, Batgirl number 2. Now, and I did pick that up at an LCS where I found the Amazing Spider-Man 400, and I did pay cover price $4.99. But I didn't recognize the book, and so or the cover, so I went ahead and picked it up because when I don't recognize a cover fairly readily, and I think it's a ratio. I start thinking, is it a ratio 1 in 10? Because where I am, the stores around, they just don't buy a lot of copies or order a lot of copies of the lower run comics, and from what I can tell, it's a 1 in 25, and so for $5, I picked it up. How about this nonsense book here? This still holds some value, but it went insane after Robert Downey had posted this cover, and I'm like, I'm not falling for that FOMO, fear of missing out. I will find that book, and I did for 40 cents. West Coast Avengers number 35. Robert Downey was holding that issue in I don't know if it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I don't really partake in that, but I remember when that book went hot, and I'm like, oh my goodness, just because he had it in his hand, oh my goodness. Here's Lobo number 3 of 4. Simon Beasley art, which is awesome. This book had some heat, and I can't remember why. From 1981. It is the first meeting of Doctor Strange and Brother Voodoo, but I don't know why, if that was a movie or what the spec was on that, but I mean, that book went high for a little bit. It's still a $20 book, so, you know, for 40 cents, I wasn't going to leave it there. It was in high grade. These were in medium, you know, fine grade, 227. I didn't know if I had that or not. 229, which is in near mint. Nothing else to say about that. Now, these two books here I found 40 cent. Everybody thinks this is the first appearance of Miss Martian, but it's not. It is her first cover appearance, but her actual first appearance was in number 37, which both of them was still there. This had a couple of spine ticks here, but it doesn't break color. You know, I mean, you see these kind of books and you just say, okay, for 40 cents, I'm not going to leave them there. All right. And then I showed that in a previous video, Amazing Spider-Man. It was the 5th printing of the Barack Obama cover, his inaugural issue, which I knew I had another copy of that, and there it was. There it is. All right. All right, then I got some Lucy's. So this book here, what's the guy's name? Glenn Nokovich or something like that. Tim Drake Robin, number 10. It was a Lucy. It's cardstock. It was still in high grade. For 40 cents. I mean, that's a $40 book. Easy $40. Easy $40. Ruby number 1. Jim Lee variant. That's probably a $10, $15 book. I love this cover here. It's my 3rd or 4th copy of this. And it's the 2nd print of Nightwing 81. I just like the way it's colored, and it's the black and white kind of gray tone. It's trying to be something. It is trying to be something. It is probably a $10 book right now, but I think give it some time, it's going to come up in value. Found this for 40 cents. Nice looking cover with the Joker. Batman Adventures, what is that, number 6, season 3? Found a couple copies of Titans United number 1, Nightwing cover. Nice looking cover. Then I found these here. This Titans issue 4. David Tulaski cover. 2 copies. There were more actually of this one here. I should have probably bought a few more. Tales of Titans number 1, Art Germ, Starfire. Gorgeous cover. Gorgeous cover. I bought that when it came out, and so I don't know why I didn't buy more of those. And then these are kind of little specs. I'm gonna post them up and see what they do, but this is who's this by? I think this is John J. I can't read it. I think that says J. Pratt or J. Hero or something like that, but that's John Stewart Emerald Knight number 1. And I figure with this series coming out next month, that might get some heat. And then we had this also great looking John Stewart cover. Kills me, I can't read the cover art, but I got 2 of those. That's a great looking cover. And then this, which is kind of cool. I never knew this came out. But this is the War Journal variant number 1. when DC did a few glow-in-the-dark covers. John Stewart, Green Lantern, Sector 2814, War Journal. But that's a glow-in-the-dark cover, and I thought that was a cool cover to get. So they were 40 cents each, and we'll see. We'll see. That's my haul. Short haul today. Oh, no, I got one more book. I bought this book because I have no idea what this book is about. But it is Training Day variant. And I think in my last video I talked about sometimes I hear voices and I hear Denzel Washington, all right, like when I find a nice book. And so it's funny, as I found that book after that, I posted that video, and it's got Denzel Washington for Training Day on there. So anyway, I'll leave it with that. Till next time, peace.